Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Today we're looking at all the purchases, sponsored products and donations that arrived in July to Phil's computer lab. The idea is I will briefly talk about each of these products. Some of them I've already used, so I can tell you a little bit about them. Some of them I haven't used, and a couple of products arrived just at the end of the month and I wasn't able to test them just yet, so they will be in next month's video. Down below in the description, have a look. Some of these have videos already, so you can find the video links, and there are also some purchase links for some of these products. So the very first item is a motherboard. This is for socket 370, and this one is from Dell. It's an OEM version based on an Intel board. I believe it's the Intel D815AA-E, and the only downside is it's got some proprietary power connectors there, but I've got some adapters for that, so that's not a big deal. It's got an Intel 815 chipset, very neat layout, minimalistic, only serial, parallel USB and the PS2 ports, so no sound card and no other gimmicks that we don't need. In terms of performance, it's fine. I always find OEM boards to work pretty well. The BIOS is very basic. There's nothing in terms of overclocking. You can't even set the memory timing, so you're relying on the SPD settings of your RAM. But yeah, now in terms of how this board arrived, it was filthy, as if someone's left it outside for a couple of years, so it's still a little bit wet. It went under the shower, and those who are not familiar with washing computer parts, it's a common thing. It's not a big deal. People freak out with water and electronics, but all you have to do is give it a good wash and then let it dry properly for a few days. In terms of pricing, I got this off eBay for 23 Australian dollars, including postage, which is very good for Australian standards, and it comes from one of these computer parts recyclers, and I like dealing with them because they're professionals, and if something goes wrong, they don't muck around. You usually get your money back straight away. And I purchased 3 of these clamp measuring devices for measuring voltages and specifically DC current. They weren't cheap, costing around 40 Australian dollars per unit. I bought them from Banggood because I've dealt with them before and they're always very good with the shipping, but you can get them from Amazon, eBay and all sorts of other places. So I did a video recently testing power supplies on socket A, and this will help me find out in more detail where does the current actually get drawn from the 5-volt rail, 3.3 or from the 12-volt rail. So you can expect a decent project with using all 3 clamps in the near future. It's been a bit quiet with sponsorships, however, Ugreen reached out to me. I did a video review on one of their hard drive adapters. This is a nifty adapter where you can plug in an ID hard drive, but also SATA hard drives, and convert it to USB 3. Basically, you can get files off your old hard drives. And they contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in checking out some of their products. So they sent me a USB 3 2.5-inch drive enclosure and also a USB 3 to SATA hard drive adapter. So this is what the 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure looks like. It's really easy to use. You just slide it open, then you insert a drive and close the lid. The USB 3 SATA adapter is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is take your drive and plug it in like so. 2.5-inch drives are powered through the USB, but if you're plugging in a 3.5-inch drive, it comes with a power supply that just plugs in here and gives it enough power to spin up the drive. I've used both of these devices already. They seem to have the same USB 3 to SATA bridge chip inside. I'm getting the same transfer rates in benchmarks, 435 megabytes for reading and 343 megabytes for writing. In terms of prices, there are purchase links down below. They are all clean, there's no affiliation going on. You can buy these from Amazon. You're looking at $12 for the enclosure and $20 for the USB 3 SATA adapter. AliExpress is a little bit cheaper, only $9 for this one, and you have a choice of getting this with a permanently attached cable or this one here for $17. However, if you do not need the power supply, if you're only using 2.5-inch drives, you can get this without the power supply for only $10. And here we've got a video card. This is the Geforce Mx 4000 in the PCI form factor. It's got 64 meg of DDR memory. I believe the memory interface is 64-bit, so this will be interesting to see how this performs. This video card actually came brand new in the box. I just opened it recently for this video. It comes with an S-Video to composite adapter and installation materials, which has the driver disk and some instructions in here. And the next item is a donation from Declan. Now, he contacted me through Facebook. I've got a Facebook group, Retro PC Gaming, so check the details down below. And he said, hey, I've got a few parts, can I ship them to you? And here it is, so let's have a look what's inside. Man, I had a look in the box. There are some really nice goodies in there. So Declan, thank you so much. So the first card is a Radeon HD 4670 with a really nice aftermarket cooler. And this is the HEP version. It uses one of these bridge chips to convert between PCI Express and HEP. And it's got a gig of video memory. So yes, that will be awesome to benchmark it and see what this card can do. And we have another Radeon 4670 from a different company with the Ice Cube cooling, which is very beefy. Just look at that thing. Also, there's a little jump on there that will be interesting to see what that is for. In terms of connections, it's got DVI and VGA, just like the Power Color, but it's got also HDMI, which is, yeah, good for capturing, makes my life a little bit easier, and it uses a Molex power connector in the back. So yeah, that's fantastic. I'm also looking forward to using this card in the future. And next up we have some slot 1 processor coolers. This is very similar to the Cooler Master model that I'm using in most of my benchmarks. It basically goes through the processor, and on the other end you put this through and then push it up, and it is secured. And it's got lots of gaps here to put screws through, so very easy to mount another fan on here. So yeah, that's very useful, and I can definitely use this in one of my projects. And here we have one of these coolers mounted to a Pentium 2. This is a Pentium 2 450, and you just use some screws to get a fan on top of it, and yep, looks very nice. So yeah, thanks for that. That will come in handy. And this is a really nice motherboard from Gigabyte, the GA7N400. This uses the Enforce 2 chipset, so it supports dual channel memory, and this is one of the fastest motherboards you can basically get for the HEP form factor. And look at that, it's got the 12-volt power connector. So using those clamps I got earlier, this will definitely be a board I could use in the project to see if the power draw actually comes from the 12-volt rail, and if it's safe to use with modern power supplies. So yeah, but that's a really nice looking motherboard, and can't wait to use this in one of my projects. And we have another motherboard. This one is the 8-bit IC7, and I believe this actually has the Intel 875 chipset, which is awesome. Most Pentium 4 motherboards have the Intel 865 chipset. 8-bit, yeah, can't really praise them highly enough. They always had really good BIOS options for tweaking and overclocking, and I really like the layout and the color of this motherboard. Let's have a look at what this has to offer. We've got floppy IDE, we've got 2 SATA controllers here, and what else have we got here? Quite a few options, optical inputs and outputs. We've got FireWire, 4 USBs, parallel 0, PS2, it's all there. And could this actually be an HEP Pro slot? That would be awesome, because I have a video card that's HEP Pro, and I haven't been able to use it because none of my motherboards have the HEP Pro interface. So yeah, that's awesome. Declan, thank you so much. That's a huge donation, and it definitely helps me with going forward with my channel. And we've got a few sound cards. This is the Oriel Vortex 2. I already have a few, but they were fairly cheap, around $15 to $20 in the US, and I bought a few. I have to use a mail forwarder because usually with a lot of these sellers in the US shipping to Australia, they want like 50 or 60 bucks depending on what article it is. Yes, I cannot rate this sound card highly enough. It's one of the best Windows 98 sound cards. Great in DOS as well, has a wavetable header, the MIDI port works in DOS, sounds really good, and if you like surround over headphones, the A3D technology is really something you need to experience. And next up, we've got a bundle. Now this was fairly cheap, 40 Australian dollars, including postage, and there's really nothing special about this stuff, but I saw the value. I saw 2 motherboards, 2 processors, some RAM, and the hard drive, and for 40 Australian dollars, yeah, it was cheap enough for me to just go for it. So let's have a closer look. This is a socket 370 motherboard from ASUS, and it's got an SIS chipset and it does not have an HEP port. And I actually found that interesting. I've got a couple of PCI graphics cards that I want to benchmark, so why not go with a motherboard that doesn't actually have an HEP port. It is Duality compatible, and it came with a Celeron Duality running at 1 GHz. It also came with some RAM and a CPU cooler. There was also an IDE hard drive included in the bundle, and very often just a decent IDE hard drive can go for similar amounts, to be honest, than the whole bundle. Now this is a 30 gig hard drive from IBM, DeskStar, and it seems to come out of a Mac because it's got that Apple logo. And this is an OEM motherboard from Dell. It comes out of a Vostro 220 with an E7400 Core 2 processor. So this is a socket 775 motherboard. There are no IDE controls anymore. It's all SATA and PCI Express. Also came with RAM and of course the CPU cooler. So this could be handy for some projects down the track when we move into some more modern stuff. And next up, we've got a motherboard. This is from MSI. It's a KT3 Ultra. It's a socket A motherboard. Came with a processor, an Athlon XP, and also the CPU cooler. And there's a story behind getting this motherboard. This is for a video that should have gone up on July 27th. It's my brother's birthday, and basically this motherboard was part of the computer that he had back in the old days. And the components he used, he basically bought an off-the-shelf computer, and some of the components were quite poor, that didn't perform very well. So the idea was to make a video benchmarking the machine that he had back in the day, and then improving it, upgrading some parts, and seeing what performance boost we can get. Also, shout out to Rebecca. She actually recognized me and wrote me a little note and put it in the box, so that was really special and made my day. And I purchased some Workstation video cards. This is the ATI FireGL 8800. I bought 3 in total, $15 each. They come from eBay USA, and there should be a video up soon. Maybe it's already out, I don't know, but very soon there should be a proper video review on these cards with interesting findings. So before you make a decision of buying them, do watch the video. It's not straightforward, lots of twists and turns to do with the drivers, but potentially quite interesting cards because they use the same GPU and configuration as the Radeon 8500. And this is nothing retro, but I bought a TV tuner. I got this little Kinovo mini TV box in my media room, and the Leadtech TV tuner I used to use blue screens. It's not supported or doesn't work with this machine, so I had to get a new TV tuner. This one is from Ava Media, and yeah, I can highly recommend it. In Australia, you're looking at around 40 to 50 Australian dollars. Comes with a little remote control, and this software is really the highlight. Supports the latest Windows 10 64-bit, and it works really well. So if you're looking for a cheap TV tuner and you're not sure which model you should go for, this is the one I can definitely recommend. And I bought a new tripod, got this off eBay, 60 to 70 Australian dollars, I believe. That's how much it cost. And it doesn't have that handle sticking out, so I can get closer to the camera when working with products in front of it. So yeah, that should help me out a little bit, making my videos a bit more comfortable to produce. And I bought a bunch of these cheap graphics coolers from eBay. You're looking at around just $3 to $4, and I've done a video showing you how to mount it on the Radeon 9600. So this is the 9600 XT with the cooler mounted, and Also, I've installed one on a Radeon 9800. This is the 9800 Pro. So yeah, they work very well. They've got no issues cooling these cards. So if you search on eBay for one of these, I can highly recommend them. They come with push pins, so they're really easy to mount. You basically just have to push them down and that's it. And I picked up some Pci Id Controllers from Promise. This is the Ultra 66 with a primary and a secondary controller. And there were 4 included, including the driver discs, the user manual, and even the original Promise ID ribbon cable. So very awesome. Not expensive at all. So really, I had no choice. I just had to get them. And there you have it, guys. These are most of the items that made it to my lab in July. If you do have any questions about one of these items, just let me know down below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and I shall see you soon with another one.